Hey Grim Beauties, welcome back. It's me, Sarah Graham. So we are going to be doing another movies, monsters, and makeup where I talk about a horror film, and while I'm talking about it, I'm doing my makeup because yeah, why not? If you are into this sort of thing, if you like watching horror movies, you know, makeup lover, anything like that, I would suggest that you subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I already did washed and primed my face. I did my eyebrows because that could sometimes take me a long time to do. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I either have a good day or a bad day. And more or less, it's like a bad day when it comes to my eyebrows. But I recently plucked them, so they look a lot cleaner now. I mean, I don't have a lot of hair to begin with because I grew up in the 90s, and the cool thing was to either shave it all off and do a little pencil thin eyebrow or over pluck, whatever. So I did that and they just never grew back the same. So I'm trying to do better. This is actually kind of thin to what I'm normally used to. My eyebrows are drawn on a bit thicker usually, but I'm not mad. I'm okay with it. I like it. Anyway, so I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna talk about the movie, but I'm not gonna go into who played the character and all that. I'm just gonna, in the description box, I'm gonna write everything out on there. So if you wanna know who plays who, it'll be down there in the description, just so save some time. Okay, so, you guys ready? I just wanna give a warning. This movie is kind of extreme. It does have rape scenes in it, which is awful and uncomfortable, but to me, those kind of movies are the scariest. I mean, you can have Annabelle, you can have Insidious, Pennywise, Pinhead, you can have Jason, Freddy, all that, you know, not real, but actual humans attacking humans. That shit's scary because almost it can really happen. So that's what makes it really scary. So that's why I feel like a lot of slasher movies are more scary because you're not dealing with you're dealing with evil, but you're not dealing with a demon or a ghost or anything like that. You know, this is real shit, real fucked up crazy people coming at you doing bad shit. So the movie I will be discussing today is a 1980 movie called Mother's Day. So I picked Mother's Day because one, I recently watched it on Joe Bob. I own the DVD, so I've watched it plenty of times. It's just I haven't watched it in a while, so I was like, oh hell yeah. But yeah, so Mother's Day. So great. Such a cult classic movie. I remember watching it as a very small child, and just I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It's like a rape, revenge, slasher horror movie, which I think, like I said, those are the scariest. I Spit on Your Grave, Last House on the Left, you know, shit like that. There was another one called, God, I can't think of the name, but if I do think of it, I'm going to have it written somewhere right here. That is another, rape, revenge movie. I think during the assaults on that movie, the girls have to, sing a song.
I said sing Jingle Bells. That's right.
I don't know. I'm going off on something else. Anyways, so the way the movie starts, they're in some kind of seminar. There's people on the seminar. It's about to end. Everybody's I guess the ending thing to do before you leave is to turn to your neighbor and say, I love you, and give them a kiss, you know? Weird and creepy. Pre-COVID, obviously, because they're kissing people. Oh, let me pin my hair up very quick to get out of my way. So then, as everybody's leaving, there's this couple that start talking, if I could talk, to this old lady. This old lady offers them a ride home, and they're like, yeah, sure. You know, this is way back when, you know, it was normal to give people rides that you don't know. Hey, yeah, sure. And this movie came out in 1980, which probably was filmed in the late 70s, probably. I mean, hitchhiking or taking strangers was just normal shit. It just was. Anyway, so they start driving, and then all of a sudden, the old lady's car stalls. And they're just what's going on? But really, those two people that she picked up, they were actually going to like rob her. So they weren't even good people at all. They were like going to rob her and probably like kill her and steal her car. But joke's on them. Out come these two fucking hillbilly inbred looking motherfuckers out of the bushes, and one of them has a machete and he fucking totally decapitates the man's head that was in the car, which is pretty awesome. Like, I thought that was really cool and unexpected. Like, oh shit, so right off in the first like 5 minutes, brutality. Like, hell yeah, okay, cool. That captures you in, like, or locks you in, I should say. Like, oh, okay, this is good. So, anyways, that happens, and then the woman in the back, they start beating her up pretty much. So she's getting all fucked up, beat up, whatever. I don't know if they rape her or assault her, but can't remember. But anyways, it doesn't matter. So after they like do whatever, the mother comes over to her. Oh, sorry, the little lady. Yeah, that was the two fucking redneck hillbilly inbred motherfucker's mom. Okay, so she goes over and she kisses the girl and says, "I love you," and freaking strangles her with some kind of rope or some kind of tie and kills the girl. I'm laughing. It's bad, I know. I laugh at awkward situations. Can't help it. Anyway, so next, you know, it cuts to like a different scene. You see a woman getting ready, packing up. You see three women actually getting ready to go because they are three college friends that take like an annual mystery weekend getaway. So each year, one of them decides what they're going to do for their mystery getaway and sets it up, and then tells the other two girls like, hey, meet me here. Those two girls get blindfolded. And, you know, that's how they get to their secret destination or whatever. So they've been doing that since college. One of the girls, Jackie, who was setting up this year's mystery weekend getaway, she has a hard time with men. A lot of time, the men she picks shit on her a lot. They take advantage, you know, all that. They're bums. One of the other girls, her name is Abbey. Now, Abbey, after school, I guess, went back to Chicago to take care of her abusive, sick mother. So she's like, hell yeah, it's time to go on this vacation. I am out. Bye. Bye-bye, you know. And then the last friend is Trina, and she is like a popular, famous model. So yeah, she lives in LA. Well, she looks way older than the other girls, but hey, you know, whatever. Anyway, so they meet up and they're blindfolded and they start going on their trip. So only one of them knows where they're going because she planned it. So she planned a trip out in kind of like a wilderness area, I guess in New Jersey, you know, kind of like a camping trip. They are like heading out. The other two are like, I don't know what's going on. Like, where are we going? So they find out that they're going on a camping trip. Like, oh, cool. I think the one from LA is kind of like, you know, camping, bugs, all that. But I mean, she doesn't really complain. Anyway, so during their, you know, camping trip, they're talking and reminiscing, and one of the scenes, it goes to where it shows how like Jackie had a boyfriend in college and he was a real shithead, so how they played like a prank on him and they called themselves the Rat Pack. There was three girls basically saying like, we're friends forever and we always have your back, and you know, typical girl shit. Like, oh, friends forever. But I don't know if that's so common anymore. You know, they're having fun, they're drinking, they're smoking weed, they're going skinny dipping, but little do they know that they are being watched. And who are they being watched by than no other, those two redneck hillbilly inbred motherfuckers. They do have names. So there's a taller brother, I'm assuming the older brother, his name is Ike, and the younger, shorter brother, his name is Addley. So one night, you know, they're not sleeping in tents, okay? They're sleeping like in sleeping bags on the goddamn wilderness floor. Like, how to the no? Like, no, sorry, you would never catch my ass. One, you would probably never catch me in a tent. I'm like, I don't really go for camping. Like, that's just not my thing. Like, other people like it. Hey, cool for you. But for me, like, I don't really care for camping. Like, doesn't seem fun to me. Anyways, that's besides the point. So they're sleeping on the ground. Great. What could happen? Wow. So as they're sleeping, all of a sudden, he starts making like this weird, I don't know, like kind of noise, like and they pounce on the girls, and the girls are like, oh my god, screaming, they don't know what the fuck's going on, like, oh my god. So the two men are wrangling up the girls and tying them inside their sleeping bag, which I would be like shitting myself, like, what the fuck, like, you know something bad's gonna happen. So they're tied up. Well, they're in their sleeping bag, tied up, you know, pulling the girls, I guess, to their house. They take them inside where mother is waiting. So I guess like this isn't the first time they did this. Oh, I dropped my brush. Bummer. I guess they do this a lot. It's almost like a sport to them, to their weird fucking nuts family. It's like a sport. All right, let me just kind of do this a little bit. I always forget what I'm doing when I'm talking sometimes, so I'm like, stop and think. Stop and think. Anyway, so they go inside, they untie the sleeping bags, kind of let the girls fall out, and the girls are freaking out, like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you? Like, don't touch me, let us go, you know? Sorry. They end up getting tied to like exercise equipment. They tie them up, tie their hands so they can't escape, and then they start showing them off to mother, like pulling their hair to show their face and, you know, stuff like that. And the mother's all proud, like, oh, good job, boys, good job. Ooh, she's pretty, like, good job. Like, you have no clue what's gonna happen to those girls. Like, are they just gonna get fucking murdered? Like, are they gonna eat them? Like, you don't know. After the mother looks at all the girls, she picks one out, and she picked Jackie. Now, Jackie's the one that, you know, has the trouble with men, who planned this whole trip. She gets picked first. So you don't really know, like, you pick that girl, what's gonna happen? Okay, you pick her, okay. So by picking Jackie, that means that she is the first one that's going to be part of their weird training, I guess you would say. Anyways, so they pick her, they take her downstairs, and they have all these props, okay, and they're discussing like, what scene are we gonna do? What scene are we gonna do? And I guess they have a bunch of different scenes, and so they pick one like, oh, we're gonna do the park bench scene, and the older brother Ike was like, no, I don't like that, like, oh, I hate that one, and then the mother's like, you can get the Polaroid. And that makes them all happy and glee, like, oh, I'll get the Polaroid, yeah, perfect. Like, and mind you, these dudes are fucking like creepy. Like, you, like, if you're gonna see them in real like life, out and about, like, you are definitely crossing the street. You are not going to be, no. Me, I would be like automatic, like, where's my knife, whatever. Like, these fools look, they ain't look right. So they set up a scene where they kind of put her in like this, almost like a baby doll kind of dress, and they're positioning her and telling her like what she needs to do. Like, here, just look at this book, pretend like you read, or this magazine, pretend like you're reading this magazine. And so she does it, and then all of a sudden she gets attacked by Ike and Addley. They make that weird noise again, and then jump on her, and like they start hitting her and slapping her, and then, you know, they're getting ready to, you know. And the mom calls out Addley and was like, her arm is free. You know, basically saying like, you did something wrong. Like, you messed up. That could have been potentially like, I don't know, a way for her to get at Luce or something. I don't know. Anyway, so they're like, he's all mad and like, no, it wasn't. And they decide to do another scene. And this one, she has to just walk. As she's walking, they attack her again and, you know, do all that bad stuff, which is awful, which as a woman really deeply scares me, because there are some sick motherfuckers out there. Like, it just seems so like real, and it fucking fucks me up. Anyway, so I guess after that's done with, they take that girl and they don't bring her back to the room with her other friends. I guess the mother is like, yeah, she could spend the night with you guys, like you boys, as if she's like their girlfriend or some shit. So weird. So I guess the next morning, the two guys wake up from, they have like this like old school, well, you know, it's not even old school back then. It actually isn't. It's not old school. It's a Big Bird alarm clock, which I know I've seen those before. Anyway, so they're doing that. They're kind of getting ready for their day. They go downstairs and mom's like, oh, where's your girlfriend? And they're like, oh, she's too tired to come down or some shit. And the mom's just laughing, knowing like they did bad shit to her. During that time, the other girls decide like, we need to get the fuck out of here. We need to get out of here. Like, we need to escape. So they were trying to like get free, and up come Ike and Addley for breakfast. And they have like these like nasty buckets with cereals. Like, ugh. They untie the girls, which is kind of weird. Like, oh, breakfast time to eat. And they're like, where's Jackie? Like, what did you do with her? They're like, oh, Jackie, you know, like she's sleeping or some shit. And that's when the mother calls them, like, get down here, boys. It's time for your training. They leave. Ike and Addley leave the girls in the room, I guess, locked in there, but not tied up, which is like kind of weird. Like, they're not even gonna tie them up. Like, I'll be jumping out of that motherfucking window. Like, bye. Anyways, I shouldn't jump ahead. Oh man. Use the wrong brush. Don't you hate when that happens? You're like not paying attention and then you use the wrong brush and the wrong color, and then it's like, I don't know, maybe it just happens to me. I don't know. Anyway, so next is their fucking fucked up training, which is like really weird. It's almost like a play on like a Rocky movie training, like with some like Rocky knockoff music. So they're just doing different things like push up, like putting weights on like some kind of hat and having their, you know, trying to pull up the weights with their head. One of them is like, what's it like? Just like a, what do you call it? A weight bag thingy, and they're like stabbing it. Just like weird shit. Like really weird shit. So during the time they're doing that, the girls are like, we need to escape. So they have Trina in a sleeping bag. Well, Abbey put Trina in a sleeping bag, and they are trying to like lift her out of the lower to the ground so she can escape or, you know, go get help. So they do that, and she ends up going back in the house, I guess, to get Abbey, which was like, man, I love you, but bye. Sorry, you're all snap. Typical girl shit. Like, oh, friends forever. But I don't know if that's so common anymore. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's messed up. So she goes, gets Abbey, and they're like, we can't leave without Jackie. We need to find Jackie. So they're like kind of quietly searching for Jackie, trying not to be seen by Ike and Addley or mother. There's one part where like they're almost gonna get caught, but the mother starts screaming, so they go and they run. Ike and Addley go and run to their mom's aid. Like, what's going on? The mom starts ranting about her sister Queenie, who is supposed to be dead, attacked her. That's what she says. In the movie, it says how Queenie was like some evil child who was born with long white hair, and she attacked the mother when she was a child, and the mother shot Queenie. I don't know, it was like a whole different story added to it, and it was just kind of irrelevant. Like, it has nothing to do with what's going on, but it was in there, and it was kind of like, okay, weird, but all right. The girls go into Ike and Addley's room, where they eventually find poor Jackie. They find Jackie, and she is barely alive. She has been beaten and probably, you know, a lot that night. You know, some awful abuse. So they like, we need to take her with us. So they do. They get Jackie out. They escape, believe it or not. Like, wow, they really escaped. That's cool. So they escape to like the forest or wilderness, whatever. But you know, they can't carry Jackie that far. So they get as far as they can, and they hide Jackie. Abbey stays with Jackie, and then Trina, she goes and leaves to get help, or the car or whatever. So she leaves, and she's like trying to find her way back. She finds like some old beer cans that they left out as kind of like a trail, almost like a Hansel and Gretel like breadcrumb, but it's beer cans. Clever. So she finds her way to the car. She's trying to start it. What do you know? It doesn't start. Why? She opens up the hood, and they got to the car. Totally destroyed the engine, whatever. And she's like, oh, I don't know what to do. So she decides to walk on, I guess, like some kind of dirt road or whatever. And she finds a policeman or police car. And she's like, oh my God, officer, help. I need your help. And he's just like, you can't really see. It's dark. She goes into the officer's arm. The officer starts like you know, like it's okay. And then like he slowly starts groping, grabbing her ass and shit, and she's like, something ain't right. So you look up, you see it's Ike. It's Ike in a policeman costume and car, and she's like, oh shit, like, oh fuck. So they're wrestling around trying to get away. He's trying to capture her. I think she needs him in the ground, in the dick. And she gets away and he's like chasing her. Hang on, I can't do this while I'm talking. Okay, so I'm done with that. Now she is trying to get away from Ike, and he kind of has her cornered by a bush, but she's kind of hidden, and he's like being quiet and kind of listening out for her, any kind of movement or a twig snap or whatever. She's very quiet. She's like, what do I do? What do I do? She sees a rock and she goes and she's trying to grab this rock, but the old tree has her hair stuck. And it's kind of like if you watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when Sally got her hair caught in the tree when Leatherface is coming after her. So it's kind of like that. So she's really reaching, trying to get that rock so she can throw it. Finally gets it. She throws it and tosses it, and Ike falls for it. And I guess she threw it over like some kind of like a hill, and he didn't, like a steep ass hill, and he didn't know, and he went flying, and he's tumbling all down, all bad down this hill. And so she's able to run and get away, and he's like pissed, right? So it cuts back to her finding Abbey and Jackie. Unfortunately, Jackie doesn't make it, and they, you know, they're like, we don't know, what are we gonna do? That's when Abby's like, you know what? We're not going to let them get away with this. We're the Rat Pack, and all of Jackie's life, men shit on her, took advantage of her, didn't treat her right. Like, this ain't happening. No, we're going to get them. So their plan is to get revenge. Fuck yes. So get themselves all prepared. They start making like little, I don't know, like booby traps or whatever, I don't know. They start MacGyvering shit. I don't think I'm going to do eyeliner because I made it very dark, so I think I'm just going to put on some lashes. Actually, I didn't even put like powder over my contour. Let me do that really quick. So they are going to go get their revenge. But before they do that, it cuts to the mother and Ike and Addley in like, I guess like a basement of their house or whatever. Maybe it's the mother's room. I don't know. Looks like the mother's room. And she is pissed off that Ike lost the girls. He was not able to come home and bring those two little silly girls back. So she's like mad, like Addley, tell your brother, blah 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 blah, you know. And he's just like, Mom, I'm sorry, I'll get them good, I promise. You know. And the mom's kind of pissed, like I kind of get like that too when I want to be like bitchy and mad about something, like sure, you know, I'm not talking to you. So that's going on. That's when you hear a little bit more about Queenie. So they declare like, yeah, we're gonna get those girls, we're gonna get them, we're gonna make you proud, Mom, we're gonna make you proud and get those girls. So next thing you know, I think the girls, no, they brought Jackie back. They set her up next to a tree, and they're like, you're not gonna miss this, you're gonna watch us get those guys, even though Jackie's dead. But it was kind of like, you know, watch us, Jackie. So they get ready and they start sneaking into the house. And oh wait, I think Addley, he goes into the kitchen where he is bombarded by the two girls with a fucking axe in the dick. Axe in the dick.
Brutality.
That part makes me laugh, because when you see like the actual like assault scenes, it's mostly Addley that you see doing them, committing them. So when you see that fucking little hatchet or whatever to the dick, you're like, fuck yes. Boom. Right in the dick. Shit makes me happy. So he gets hit with the hatchet in the dick, and then I believe they strangle him to death. I believe he dies from strangulation, which is cool. So as he dies, so in comes Ike, and he's like trying to attack the girls, and then he sees his brother is dead, and he freaks out. He's like, no, not my brother, I'm gonna kill you, bitches. He starts choking one of them, and the girl gets loose and starts running to like the living room area. Hang on, I can't talk and put on lashes, so I'll be right back, okay? Okay, and I'm back. So, put on my lashes. So, where I left off was the girl, Trina, was getting strangled by Ike, and she gets away and she goes into the living room, and Ike goes in there, and unknown to him, Abbey is hidden holding up a TV and slams it on his head, which he's getting electrocuted. Oh shoot, I forgot. At one point, Ike is down and they shove a bunch of like Ajax in his mouth, and that makes him all sick, and he's like throwing up all this red shit. Like, it's really good. I think that happens before they throw the TV on his head. So they throw the TV on his head and they think like, okay, he's dead now. Who's next? Mother's next. So as they're about to go find Mother, what happens? Of course, Ike's not dead. Nope, not dead. He grabs Trina's ankle, and she gets like a carver for like turkey and stuff, a turkey carver, and she starts killing him in his face. I think you don't really see it. You just see all this blood squirting up and hitting her in the face and shit. So finally, Ike is dead. So next, they need to go find Mother, which they do. Okay, so they need to go find Mother. And it cuts to a scene where Abbey starts screaming in that basement, and she comes out with like this knife in her back. And the mother's like, oh, good job, boys. Like, you got her, yay. Nope, Abbey was just pretending. She didn't really have a knife stuck in her back. It was like, in the arm, the whole arm trick. And so they finally get the mother down. The mother's like calling for her boys. Nobody's coming. And she's telling them like, no, don't hurt me. I'm a sick old lady. Like, don't hurt me. You wouldn't hurt a sick old lady. Well, this triggers something in Abbey. Like I said in the beginning, Abbey takes care of like her sick, abusive mother. Well, her mom's more of like a emotional, verbal, abusive person. Okay, so I'm gonna be putting on lipstick. Obviously, I can't do that and flap my mouth, so I'll be right back, okay? Okay, and I'm back. So that really triggers something in Abbey, and Abby's like, oh, I'll take care of you. You're a sick woman. So she like on the bed, there's like this plastic pillow that's the shape of boobies. So she grabs that booby pillow and puts it over Mother's mouth and starts suffocating her. Mother's like, oh, no. And, Abby's like, you're a sick old woman and you shouldn't have to do nothing, blah, blah, blah. So Abbey ends up killing Mother by suffocation. Once Abbey realized what she did, she fucking freaks out and screams like, oh my God, what have I done? So next thing, it cuts to them burying Jackie out in the wilderness and letting them know like pretty much we took care of those guys and nobody's ever gonna harm you again. Now you can rest. So they're rejoicing that it's all over. They destroyed those people. They didn't die. Everything's good. Everything is good. That should be it, right? Wrong! So out jumps the mother sister, Queenie. Ah! She comes out. You get a very small glimpse of her. She looks like a big Yeti. Ah! Missing the ear, because I guess her ear got chopped off when when Queenie's mother tried to kill her, or the grandmother tried to kill Queenie. Whatever. It's confusing. Watch the damn movie and you understand what I'm talking about. But anyways, so you see Queenie jumping down. The girls are like, movie ends. So it was like a nice little jump scare the first time you see it, because you don't expect it. You hear about Queenie, but you don't see Queenie until the end, and she really has nothing to do with anything, but it's a little extra. Anyway, so that is a little rundown of the 1980 movie Mother's Day. Now, they did remake this movie a couple years ago, and it was absolute shit. And that's being nice to say it's shit, because it was awful. Like, I watched it once and I was like, I will never rewatch this again to see if I want to give it a second chance. Like, no, sorry, ain't happening. It's awful. Don't even waste your time trying to watch this remake, because it ain't worth it, okay? But if you want to, go ahead. I don't care. So let me know what you think down below. If there's any other movies you want me to watch and do kind of like a review on, let me know down in the comments. Also, I'll be typing out everything I used on my face today. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up for me, please. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that too. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys probably another week with another movie. I'm not sure which movie I'm going to pick yet because there's so many that I want to do. And I don't have time to review like 5 or 10 movies at a time. I wish I did. I don't know. But I have a list of movies I want to do movies, monsters, and makeup on. So stay tuned. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Once again, I'm Sarah Grim. Remember to stay creepy and stay safe, okay? Alright, bye guys.